Emancipation Statue Rededication. And to start off, do I have your permission to record this interview?
Yes.
Awesome. And then can you state your name, please?
Name is Jeffrey Boutwell.
Awesome. And what brings you out to the rededication event today?
Several reasons. I'm a member of the Lincoln group of Washington, D.C., so obviously very much interested in Lincoln and helping to promote Lincoln's legacy. I'm also a historian. I just had a book published last year on a family member of mine, George Boutwell, who actually was sitting on the stand there 3 feet away from Frederick Douglass when Douglass gave his speech. George Boutwell was a U.S. Senator at the time, but earlier had been Secretary of the Treasury for Ulysses Grant. Before that, he was a member of the House. He was Lincoln's Commissioner of Revenue, had a quite consequential 20-year career in Washington during both the Civil War and Reconstruction. And very much a radical Republican who was an ally of Frederick Douglass in promoting black rights in the 1870s.
And how do you feel personally about the Emancipation Statue?
I like the statue. It does have to be explained a little bit. Many people won't get the significance of the fact that Archer Alexander is rising from the ground and breaking his chains, what's called black agency, that blacks took positive steps towards their own emancipation by running away from the plantations, by enlisting in the Union forces, whatnot. So it's very much, to me, it does speak of black agency. It's a positive act on his part towards self-emancipation, given that Lincoln had provided the stimulus with the Emancipation Proclamation. Now, I do understand Frederick Douglass made the famous comment after the fact that the next time he saw a statue like this, he didn't want to see a black man on his knees on the ground. He wanted to see a black man au couchant, standing on his own feet. And I totally understand the symbolism of that. But for what it is and the time period it represents, I like the statue very much.
Does it hold any particular meaning for you personally?
Well, just the fact that my family member, George Boutwell, was here when it was dedicated on April 14th, 1876. He knew Frederick Douglass very well. They would often speak at anti-slavery meetings together. And so he was part and parcel of the whole emancipation movement, abolition movement during the Civil War. But then George helped write both the 14th and 15th Amendments after the war as a member of the House of Representatives, which contributed to black agency by providing birthright citizenship and then the vote.
So from what you've talked about us here and at the table, it sounds like you definitely favor keeping the statue. One of the things somebody else had brought up who likes keeping the statue in another interview earlier was he said, maybe there could be some sort of plaque explaining it. Because I know you said some of it requires some explanation about where it looks like the black man is like on his knees. So are you in favor of any sort of kind of explanatory plaque or note or addition to the statue? Or do you think it should
Absolutely, yes. No, some signage would be a great idea. You could have some of the quotes from Douglass's speech, where, of course, he's not totally laudatory of Lincoln. He's got, differences with Lincoln that he's willing to express. He was not the black man's president, as Douglass said. And if people understand that that's what Douglass was saying when this statue was dedicated, it helps put it into context that it's not just Lincoln, the great emancipator, liberating the slaves, that it was a dynamic process of blacks helping to liberate themselves.
And then just for our final question that we're kind of asking people, are there any statues that you personally would like to see either here in the park or just in D.C. that you feel like don't exist yet, or anyone that you can commemorate?
Ooh, good question. Part of me feels we have too many statues already. We don't need more statues, and if I may be so bold, what's going on with the present administration trying to put up even more, memorials around D.C., we don't need any more. What we need is to better understand the ones we have and understand the history and make sure that history is truthfully told.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking with us.
Sure. Okay.